Tyron Woodley, he looked great. He looked like the world champion, the guy that knocked out Robbie Lawler, the guy that beat Wonder Boy, the guy that beat your boy Darren Till, the guy who is a pound-for-pound top fighter. The dude's a freak athlete, action figure, ass and abs, the whole nine. The dude is just yoked, right, in his prime. Remember him in Strikeforce? This dude he's been around forever. People forget how long Tyron Woodley's been fighting. And for those 30 seconds, Zach, I saw it.
30 seconds.
But the other 4.5 rounds, 4 rounds and 30 seconds.
All Colby.
It was all, he didn't have it. And Colby, I know Colby said he felt great. He did great. To me, he didn't pass the eye test. I thought he was a more crisp, sharper, better, smoother fighter, put it more together against Usman. Now, I don't know if it's the style matchup or maybe Colby was a little more conscious of Woodley's power, because essentially that's the only way Woodley's going to beat you, right? Just the explosive right hand, and that's it, right? But Woodley got the takedown. Colby did it. He spun it, and I just think Tyron kind of I don't want to say the Q word, but he kind of gave it. He was trying to dap up the gloves every time. We all knew Colby wasn't going to do that. Like, it was just kind of and the rib thing. It was just an odd fight. I think Tyron Woodley this is his last fight in the UFC, and I think Colby's next fight will either be Leon Edwards or perhaps when Usman beats Burns, they run that fight in February or March, perhaps as a co-main event for the return of Conor McGregor.
I mean, look, we'll see about that. Before we get into all that, go have a look at the fight. Colby, 32 years of age, in the prime of his career, facing a 38-year-old Woodley. He'd lost 10 rounds in a row previous, and he's lost another 4.5, 5, whatever you want to look at it.
Right.
First 30 seconds was his. Colby really used the wrestling more on Woodley. I thought he was going to do that. Maybe he didn't want to strike with Woodley as much. He did indeed mention that it wasn't going to be his usual self, because along with the high pressure that he brings to fighting comes with being susceptible to counters. And he did mention before the fight that he was not going to do that, because that's just puts it on a plate for Woodley to counter.
Right.
So it was a bit more of a passive fight from Colby, but nevertheless, he still dominated.
Yep. Still won every round.
I don't think he needed to go all out, and it showed that he didn't. Why go all out on a guy who's 38 and he's lost 10 rounds, with all respect to Woodley? A couple points maybe with Colby. If I'm looking at Usman, I could say I could beat Colby again. He was open for the guillotine a couple times, and I think that's where Woodley's rib did pop or whatever it did. But he did get himself caught in that situation a couple times. If that was Usman, maybe he could have capitalized on it.
Right.
Woodley still did get like a shot or two in there, like a big right, but that's expected. You can't dodge them all. But Colby, really with the takedown in the clinch, I was really impressed with Woodley's back to the cage, using his complete strength. So Woodley couldn't get his arms around him, couldn't really do anything to capitalize on the clinch. Colby had it all there. The ground and pound in round 4 was vicious. I think in that round alone, he outstruck Woodley. I think it was 113 to 2 strikes. That is actually incredible. So he's still, even with him not doing his full high pace, he's still keeping up a good level. And with his new training camp, he said, with Team Miami, with this more like jiu-jitsu base and all of that, I'm really excited to see. I think this is a Colby 2.0. He looks a lot more less of the gimmick, even though he still has that gimmick, but I'm not trying to be as popular anymore, because I've already proven the point and I've become popular and fought a champion and had a title fight. Now it's time to put in the work and actually be a champion and not talk about being one. So big move from Colby. Where does he go next? Maybe Edwards, but that's not really a money fight for him. Edwards is down for it. I personally believe Masvidal, he's going to want that Diaz fight. He's going to
fight Diaz. Yeah.
Fight the ranks, the number 11 guy, instead of going for Colby or Leon. I think Colby could easily be back up for the title fight, Burns and Usman. But we'll see. Nevertheless, a great night for Colby and for Woodley. I'm not going to say he should quit, because I don't think we have the right to say that's his career. Even Colby said that as much as he doesn't like him. He can do what he wants. Maybe just reevaluate to why he's fighting. He's sure he's made well over $1 million.
He needs to step away. Fighting those 3 guys in a row with no gaps like that, it's just like, you really got to take a step back.
Yeah.
We'll see, mate. We'll see. Woodley's still a hell of a fighter, like I said, and you agree. He's a Hall of Famer. Had a great run at welterweight.
Just
And
in a twilight at the moment,
yeah,
still he's fought 3 top guys, and there's nothing wrong with losing to those guys. You
right.
know, really not. He still beat plenty in the welterweight division, but maybe just take some time off, reevaluate why he's fighting. I'll be honest, I thought Woodley was going to be even more aggressive, even though he had lost his past 2 fights with the whole animosity towards Colby and the whole they made it political. I thought he was going to come out a lot more mind ready and sharp, but I was wrong. Hey ho, it is what it is. I'm a big fan of Colby. I like his fight style, and I'm excited to see where it goes next.
Me too. And if you saw the post-fight interview, Trump called him in the middle of his post-interview.
Yeah.
Hilarious. And Trump was watching. And
He was
listen,
loving it.
I don't know if this is going to make the cut or not. You can feel how you feel about the guy. But I think it's cool if the president of your country calls you and says, yo, great job. It doesn't matter if you're from Pakistan, India, whether you like.
It doesn't matter if you like him or not. If the president's taking the time out of running the country to call you.
Think about Colby's like life mission. His whole life mission was to be like to represent America, right? On the biggest stage at the Olympics, or whether it's collegiately in wrestling. His whole goal in life was to represent the USA one way or another. And to him get the call from the president, that's why he's cheesing like an 8-year-old meeting Conor McGregor. Like it's just like I get it, because that was his life's mission. Olympic champion, represent like Cejudo. That's why Cejudo goes apeshit when he met Trump. It's the same thing. It's like,
well, it's with DC. Colby admires that. He admires representing your country, winning the gold.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he's even more motivated to do that with the training camp, as I mentioned before. It's specifically focused around him. It's not so much of a team. So they can more focus on Colby and what Colby needs, as opposing to what, as he said, like Colby's just wrestling guys for them to, whilst he's not actually improving. So really need to see. I think Colby can beat Usman. Same with Burns. I think they have the best shots of giving him a good fight. But I honestly think Colby needs to just put on a bit more muscle, if I'm being honest, because Usman's definitely there in the strength department. Same with even Woodley with Colby. So definitely maybe put on a bit more muscle. It may be harder to cut the weight, but it could be worth it in the long run. So
there you go, champ. That was UFC Vegas 11. Usman was there smirking and being, but he can do that right now because he's won. He can kind of run his gimmick, and it's kind of like hilarious. But it's all good. That's like, he's like the new Cejudo. Like he's got like the cheesy gimmick, but he could fight. That guy could fight, and that guy he's hard to beat. But Nick Diaz beats him. So there you go.